We'll see. We'll find out as soon as the screen pops up. It's on a delay, but I was playing around with the setup on the live stream, and YouTube has changed some of the settings. So I think, well, yes, I figured it out. So what happened is YouTube put where you can change the screen angle in a different area than what it used to be. It used to be able to build a live stream and it had a button you could push to, yeah. So just FYI. So we're back in the abode, um, and we're gonna keep on going on that building that we were playing with last night. And I started on it today. I wanted to kind of play with one side of it just to see how it was going, but that's what we're gonna do. Plus, uh, there's buildings down the one side that I've already cut polystyrene to start roughing in those as well. So we've got those. We'll see how far we get from there too. But there we go. 2:30 on a Tuesday. So let's see here. There's a few of us here. Uh, cool. We got Chris, you got Jamil, Mike. Yeah, there's a few of us to cause some trouble with, so that's a good thing. Um, so what I will do is I will go ahead and we'll turn the camera so you aren't looking at me. You can see what's going on over here. So let me turn this over. We'll hit that. Come on. There we go. Okay. So that is what we're playing with. So there's the building. I went ahead and oh shoot, I've downloaded some pictures on my other tablet so I can show you guys photos. And it kind of explained the scratch building process up to this point. Okay. Um, the other video showed how kind of I roughed it in. It was just kind of a box. Now you're seeing holes in the box. Got one side that actually has brickwork and texture done to it. Turned out pretty cool. So that is what we're going to go ahead and start doing on this side. Um, Let me go ahead and bring up El Photo for you guys. And like I've explained before, especially with scratch building, it's really important to have something as far as reference goes, photographs, YouTube, whatever it is. But a lot of times trying to get that all figured out, trying to get the right shots of what you're going after can be, that is a challenge by itself, especially like with this building and the other ones that we're going to go ahead and rough in, because there's really no photographs of them. I mean, there is of this on this face, but trying to find what's going on this side of the building yeah, it's quite the treasure map trying to figure that one out. So from this photo, I was able to kind of figure out what was going on. It looks like this is kind of like apartments, and they had living quarters as far as upstairs, downstairs, and there was three units in this first building. So I went ahead and just kind of mimicked that as best I could. Uh, let's see here. Get it over here. So I found an old black and white, which is kind of cool because it shoots down that street where this is kind of a hard photo to find. I have a lot of searching to go ahead and find something like this, but there's actually a tree down this street which will work perfect, up kind of by that portal we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and put a tree in there, kind of break it up, kind of make it look somewhat of the original. But if we go from here, we can see down on the edge as far as the door openings down here. Obviously, this top with the balconies kind of cover up everything, but we can see kind of the windows. They have some door openings and whatnot. And as far as trying to figure out your placement, it's using your best guesstimate, right? So I kind of figured that there was 3 different apartments. So I went ahead and measured this out, got it into 3 different sections. If you can see, I have a line right here, one here, kind of splitting it into 3 different apartments, and just kind of worked, holes from there. Obviously, these up here are going to be door openings. You got door openings down below and a window beside each, which is kind of what I'm seeing in these photos. Didn't look like there was any other windows up on top. Look like these doors are kind of a glass. And these are all the little things you got to take in consideration when you're doing this. So there, we can see the doors up here, being that they have glass panes in them. So there's those 3, and you can see there's 3 different balconies here, which is kind of strange because if you go, this is kind of the weird thing too, is when you're doing this, especially in this town, it seems like these buildings changed quite a bit. I mean, now the corner building that's on this corner is actually 3 stories. That for when the race was going on, it was only 2 stories, and now it's 3. So a lot of times what you need to do is go through, find the era that you want to model, and then, start modeling based off of that. So like in this one, where'd that go? Bring it up. This one, it looks like there's just 1 balcony, which is kind of strange. And then I keep on losing this. If we go find her here, we've got 3 different balconies. So I'm going after this era, which it looks like this is more, I would say, late 60s, early 70s. I mean, this is what is that? It's a 912 Porsche. You can tell it's a 912 from the corner lights up in here. And there's a Fiat back in here. So I'm thinking that this, and then the way people are dressed, it's looking like late 60s, early 70s, probably right at the end of the Targa when they had sports cars in it. So I'm going to go after the one with the 3 different balconies. So that's that. But I want to go ahead and bring those up so you guys can take a look at that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do this this brickwork on this one side. Now, also, kind of cool with polystyrene. Let me go back to the photos. I guess I'm not done with photos yet. So let me bring this up. Okay. And let's find a photo that's going to show this. Not so much that. This one shows on this side. Okay. This lower window is actually inset within the wall. This one's sitting on the outside, so it's got framework. So over here, what we'll end up doing is making framework on the outside of this guy, so the windows is sitting on the outside of the sill. But this one, I went ahead and finished up the brick in the inside so we can have that window on the back side, so we can model the depth of those walls. Same thing's going on this side. So these are these little details. Okay, which is kind of strange. The upper floor, these doors are sitting pretty much flush with the with the brick, with the outside facade. And the lower is all reset, so they're all thick. So what we're gonna need to do is on these lowers, we're gonna make sure that our brickwork wraps in the inside. This one we can get away with just, you know, doing it on the outside, but these ones down here definitely want to go ahead and wrap that. So go ahead and turn that off. I'll go back over here. Oh yeah, and I changed up a wall, so that's what this is, brick wall. I'm gonna take that with me when we go up on top. But I think I've babbled enough for this one. So a cool thing is, I went ahead and did my brickwork here. I can bring my lines around the edge for reference point. And then what I need to do is just go ahead and measure these out over here, take a ruler and go across. So I picked up a really cool ruler yesterday. Saw this and I had to have it. And it's a just a little engineer ruler, but it's really cool. It's real small. It's made out of aluminum. I found this at Hobby Lobby yesterday, and I think it was only like $5. But this is a really cool little ruler. But what we're gonna do is I gotta get this, find out which one of these I used. It's got all sorts of different measurements on this, so I gotta figure out which one I used. It's obviously not that one. Is it that one? Yep, it's that one. Okay. So I do not know. It says 60 at the top. I don't know how to read these engineer rulers. All I know is it got numbers on it. It works really good. So this lower brickwork I made a little bit thicker for foundation stones. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get that one scribed in. What was it at? Okay, it's right. Figure this out. Hit that. Okay. So there's my first one. And oh crap! Gotta figure out which one it is. Okay, it had a 60 on it, right? That's a 40, 10, 50, 60, right? Just make sure if I got this. Yes. So now what I'm going to do is just take my X-Acto and notch it. I'm not going to worry about using a pen or anything else to mark it. Just going to go ahead and use the knife. Gotta put this where I can see it better. Sorry guys. Big thing with these is that you really want to make sure that your lines are straight. Otherwise, they'll really start to pop out. So I went ahead and scribed those in. Now I'm just going to take this ruler, set it on this bad boy somehow. And scribe our lines. And I'm probably going to have to go back through these and make them deeper. But for the initial this will work. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the next probably 5 minutes or so. Trying to get these right. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm going to have to put this on my lap. So here's that. So get these right. And then we'll come back and I can cut the rest of the stones. Like I said, you want to make sure these are straight, otherwise it'll really start to show if it doesn't. Tedious, very tedious. Come on. Trying to keep it from shifting. We'll get this done and then we can move on to more exciting stuff. Oops, why did I do that? Oh well, shoot. I forgot, I have brickwork above these door openings and window openings. That's different, and I just went through the middle of one of these. Crap. That's alright, we'll fix it. Such an odd... Man, this works pretty good. You can do it this way. Aha! Yes, much easier. There we go, I like that. You know, the rougher the brickwork, the easier you can recover from mishaps. If you're doing like a red brick or something like that, where it's real fine detail work, you really want to make sure you're cutting some straight lines, man. But these kind of bigger blocks have room to move, you could say. So they weren't exactly perfect. almost got this done. Over halfway at least. Okay. That one. Move my coffee cup. All right. Just got 3 more lines. This one right there. Oh, this kills the hand. Okay. There we go. So we got our lines in. Now what we need to do is, okay, so I went ahead and did this wall first, right? And some of these stones, like this guy, is real small. This one's length, small, length, small. So what we need to do is come around. Okay, that one was what? That was length. No, that was small. Is that small? Yeah, that's small. So we'll come around and put one there. This one is smaller. So now what we're going to do is come through and start cutting our bricks. Notice I'm not measuring this stuff. A lot of times when I do it on my own, I just go by feel, what looks good, stuff like that. I don't really know what size these are. Let's see here. Let's get, just for giggles, right? Why not? These are, they're about 3/4, yeah, about 3/4 of a centimeter wide. And they're about a centimeter and an, what was that, an 1/8? Yeah, centimeter and 1/8 long. It's kind of messed up, used standard with metric. Oh well. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut these. Okay, like I was saying, I have above these windows and stuff, I made individual brickwork, which this is it's red brick. So I'm just gonna slice these kind of narrow. So this one. Get these kind of out of the way before I go much further. At least those and this one. Again, the big thing is referring to your photos. Make sure you got everything as such. That little piece of polystyrene over there, it says brick wall. This one has to do next to this building, and there's a brick wall. And I started looking at the photos more, and it's not vertical. It's actually laying back a little bit. So cut that piece so we can lay that in there. I got an idea. So let me go ahead. Get these cut. Again, this is just going to take a while. Okay, do that. There. There's that one, this one. A lot of times with these older buildings, I've noticed that the bricks weren't like precisely put into place, so you got room to finagle with. And this one will come over here. Right there. Right there. And I'm not worried about widening these bricks out right yet. That's yet to come. Right now, just trying to get my spacing and everything done. Kind of cool though how it starts taking shape. So that one's there. Tedious stuff. Pretty cool though. You can see how this polystyrene is real easy. It's real easy to work with. It's actually pretty fun too. All the different things you can do with foam board. It's amazing. Oh, well, looks like we got one apartment almost done. Oh. Anyway. this out. Try to get the light right so I can see it. That's the hard part. Okay, there's that one. Okay. There we go. I'll put that there. Okay. And the brickwork above the window. Okay. Where's our line? Trying to keep your lines right can be kind of a job. This one there. Let's see here. Okay, that's right there. Oh, shoot. It's just gonna take a little bit to do it. Okay, here's another opening, so let's make sure we get those taken care of. All right. Okay. Where's that one? Gets around these lettering and stuff on this polystyrene. I get a little bit lost trying to find where I cut. Yeah, I'm over halfway done. Well, with this portion of it. door opening. There's that. We got here. Okay. Got a little heavy with the pencil when I was. Oh shit. Where's that one at? Okay. That. That'll work. Straight down. Trying to figure. Oh, it's there. I'm trying to work around. Yeah, I got a little heavy with the pencil when I was drawing this out. Had the same issue on the other side. That's okay. You can work around it. Okay, one goes there. We have this opening. Keep my concentration, not get ahead of myself. Wait a minute, that got a cut here, cut there. So let's move this cut here. All right, there we go. There's that. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's just one of these. Now building these things, they're cool when they're done, but it takes some hours to get them done, that's for sure. Let me get there's that. Yay, on the last little bit. Make you pull out your hair. is we'll go through these and we'll widen these cuts. But thank goodness that goes a lot faster than doing the initial cuts. Okay, so there's that. I got that. Here, there, there. All right, so there's that. Now, now I gotta drag these cuts into the inside. So let me do those. At least we only have to do this on the bottom floor. So we got that. We've got a long one. It's a little difficult trying to do this in here. Not cut your hand off. All right, there's that. That's a long one, short one. Okay, and it goes through the windows. Just do it like that. That's the long one. Again, trying to keep your stones right can be a little bit of a chore. Don't worry if you mess up a little bit, because we still have joint compound to do on this, and joint compound can save your butt. So that needs to be trimmed out. There we go. Cutting bricks will never cease. Oh, shit. Okay, that's again, I'm trying to figure out which ones are long blocks, which ones are going to be shorties in here. So if it's long on this side, it's a shortcut. If it's short on this side, it's long. So if you're wondering what I was doing there, that's what that was about. Taking a little bit of material. Short. So make sure these things are straight. Nothing worse than doing a bunch of block work and then it comes to your openings and they're going uphill or downhill. It really seems to stand out when you make a mess up like that. Okay, that one's long. This one's short, short, short. Almost got this. Sorry it's taken so long, you guys. Okay, there's that. Now we get this last. Last one, nothing's. Okay. Get these. Gotta get this one. These upper ones aren't too critical because I'll never see them unless I get a mirror down there. But ones on the side, a different story. Last one. Okay, there's that. Okay. Whew. There we go. So we got our block work all done. It's cut into the inside as well. All right. So there is that. Oh, goodness. Now let's go through. I got some of these guys are pretty cool. They work good for widening out my gaps. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm just going to run this right down into it. And what this is going to do, let me run through just a couple and I'll show you. Okay. So what this is doing is making those bricks a little bit more definition into it, right? Because when we hit it with the X-Acto blade, I mean, it just slices right through, and the face is all nice and flush, right? Smooth. But these are, these are blocks, right? So we need to get these things to start taking shape. So when I'm using this, I'm just pushing it down through into my lines. And it's kind of rolling the edges of those cuts. Okay. I'm going through, gotta be careful, I don't snap this thing in half. You can see it goes a lot faster. But I'm going to go through each one of these lines with this. Okay. So we're going to go through these, which obviously these ones that are horizontal go a lot faster. Vertical ones, they're pain in the butt again, because you're going each individual one. But it goes pretty fast because you're now not trying to hunt around. That was good. Shouldn't have done that. Need to pay attention, Boone. Is we'll erase that. We'll do it that way. Okay. And these are going to be a little bit trickier. I'll show you. I'll do a grid of these and show you guys what it looks like before I get quiet again. I'll hit this and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Just like anything, it's a process. Okay, so there we go. And they're starting to take quite a bit of definition at this point. So let me go ahead and hit this some more. Let's see here. So you guys aren't staring off into space. I think I can do this. We'll try. There we go. Where am I? Okay, I did those, okay. Whoop. Erase that. Okay, those are done up to here. Right? Yeah. If you're trying to make more of a finished style big block, this is about all you would need to do, and then just add a little bit of texture to the surface, and you would have it. But I'm not doing that. I'm going, I think what they call that, open face block. Real rough and porous. Okay, so there's that. Go through. Those. This way. What was that? That was. Saw an area looked a little bit too big, so I wanted to slap another brick in there. Thank God this building didn't have all the same bricks in it. It has quite a variety. Big bricks, small bricks. You can change it up a bit if we need to. I was doing a red brick. Let's see, it's screwed up there. If I was doing a red brick building, I don't know if I would be doing this on camera. Just because they just gotta really concentrate when you're doing red brick like that. Real easy to mess it all up. Let's see here, let's get. Okay. And down below, we're going to have to do this to the brick is in the window openings and the door openings as well. Can't leave them out. What did I do there? Okay, so we do that. Like I said, this step goes a lot faster than the last step. There we go. Almost got it, guys, and then I just got to do the openings. All right. Now let's do the insides of these. Okay, got it. You see how it's starting to take shape. Looks pretty damn cool. Yeah. Just about got it. I'll show you guys how these openings turned out. Almost forgot to get the tops of the windows and doors. Okay, where am I? This one. Just about got it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let me raise this back up. Oh, too far. There we go. So there we go. You see the insides in there, how it's taken form. So pretty cool. Starting to look like something. All right, so now we got that. I need to rest my hands for a second, cramping up. So let's see what we can come up with here. I've got still got cotton. It's probably cold. Mm-hmm. Oh, tastes like monkey piss. It's cold. Okay, so now cut that. And I cut kind of a sill down here at the bottom of those. So that should work pretty good like that. All right. Now we need to do is start the texture process. Because we're having so much fun. All right. So you can use wire brush. I have 36 grit. Some guys like to use like crunched up aluminum foil or something like that to put texture in it. This one, I'm doing a combination of a bunch of different things. Not only am I using this, I'll actually come in again with my X-Acto knife and I'll start chipping out some of these rocks or some of the bricks like that, making the voids in it. Because if we go back to our photo, see here. Got a pretty good. See if I can find a. If we come back into our photo, we can see how those rock or brick, they're pretty hammered. So you can put some real good texture in these things. See what we got. So I'm going to hit it with the wire brush first. And this is going to start laying down some of this base texture. Again, when you're doing this, be careful with it because we put all these cuts in it. I got windows and all that opened up, and it's taking the strength out of it, so it starts to get a little bit delicate. This will also kind of grab at the edges of these bricks. Kind of start opening them up. Okay, so we got the initial kind of texture going on. Now, I'm going to hit it with this 36 grit. And this will start to make it look like an open face type of brick or rock. Doesn't take much pressure. Starts really kind of ripping it down even further. then I've got this red brick that's going to be above here, so I got to be careful not to hit it with this. Okay. And kind of round out some of these. Chip it if you want. Almost got it. I gotta stand up. You can see how this thing is flexing in my hands, so take your time, support it. Hopefully you don't break. Looks like I hit that. And I can come back and show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so I've got that generally hit. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of this so I can get in the insides of these. All right. Got pretty good texture. I want to hit the edge and kind of soften the edges of them. Not so sharp. same thing up here. Okay. So there's that. So that's what we got up to this point now. Okay. So it's starting to look like this, right? Now we need to come down. And I was telling you about my crushed up piece of aluminum. I'm just going to come in and rock this over the top. It's going to give a little bit of indentation to some of these guys before we go in and start chipping them. Just adding some alterations to the surface. The more texture you add into it, the more it starts to take shape. And what do you about those bricks that I accidentally kissed? Come back and fix those too. Let me get this portion done here. You can see it's starting to, and what we're doing here, let me get done with this and I'll show you what we're doing. This is taking the surface and I'm pressing into it so that for one thing, you can see, excuse me, you can see kind of how the bricks are kind of starting to spread around, getting kind of poochy, getting distorted, but it's also creating an altered surface as far as some areas, are going down into it a little bit more. It's just adding a little bit more texture to it, more realism. I didn't do this to the portal, so I don't know. Didn't really think about it. Okay, so what we're going after is that. You can see how it's kind of creating an uneven surface to it, right? Okay, now I have my mess up that I need to fix. So I need a little bit finer grit sandpaper. And what is this? It's like 60 grit. So these areas up here, they're going to have this red brick. I'm just going to kind of smooth them out just a little bit. So they stand out. This is the one that got hammered. Okay. There's that. Now, come back in here. Let's find those edges. Clean them out a little bit. lot of just tedious work with doing this, but pretty cool when you're all done. Okay. Looks good. All right, now, final portion of this is I'm going to come in, I'm going to start chipping away some of these. So let me get some of these done, and I'll show you what we've got. So this is a time when, if you have some of the lines that you weren't too happy with, you can come back in now and alter these bricks a little bit. You know, say this one right here, right? Let's take the corner out of it. Give it kind of a, doing some serious weathering. Make some of these gaps a little bit more pronounced. It's not a hard thing to do as far as doing these scratch build. It just has its bunch of different steps to it. We get, oh, and that one there, and that up. Okay. So what we're doing here is opening up that brickwork. So you don't have to do every brick to get the effect. You know, just pick certain ones you want to pick on. Some of these foundation stones and okay. See here, what's going on with this? Fix that line. And just have enough so that it makes the effect, but it's not completely perfect. There. You gotta remember, we're coming in with joint compound after this, so a lot of this stuff's gonna get kind of filled in a little bit. So it'll start to kind of take on some of this stuff. It's kind of fun, actually. The more you start doing this and stuff like that, you start seeing it come to life and in your hands. Pretty cool. I got a little wild in the middle of this thing, didn't I? Not get too crazy here. No wonder they rebuilt a bunch of these buildings. Like I said, some of these brick seams, if they aren't quite the way you want, just come in, chip them out a little bit. Just about got it. Wild up in there. Okay. That. One thing about when I do videos, you guys don't get to see it take shape quite like this. Okay. There's that. Now, these corners down here, I want to open up some of this. Don't worry about if it's real furry on the edges, because again, we're going to come in with joint compound. So there's that. Okay. Here we go. Here's this. Kind of knock some of this loose stuff off if I can. There. Okay. So there we go. We got our brickwork coming all out. Got kind of carried away up in here, didn't I? But pretty close. Now what we need to do is go ahead and hit this thing with joint compound. And then gotta let it dry. So I gotta find my joint compound. There's my joint compound. Alright, now let's see here. Clean up some of my mess. Where's that? There's that. I'm gonna have to repaint the track over here. Just to abuse the hell out of it. Doing videos here. Okay, now we're just gonna go ahead and glop it on there. You got your stiff bristle brush. I'm just gonna work it down in. Okay, the top, right. Top has windows on the outside. Kind of swirling it, working it in. And you notice the joint compound's a little, it's pretty wet, right? So it'll work down inside this stuff. Inside these windows. Stuff will just flow down inside. takes a little bit to do it. Like I've said before, this junk compound works almost like a primer for the surface. So when you get ready to paint it, makes it a lot easier. You aren't fighting shades of pink. I'm not going to worry about doing an interior on these buildings because where it's at, I don't think I'll really have too much of an issue there. So there's that. I gotta get the edge of it. I might come back and do that. Yeah, because there's something going on up here that I need to show you guys. I won't do that yet. I'll worry about this side first. Ooh, that one's kind of thick. Put him back down there. I keep my bucket of junk compound with water on the bottom. Obviously, if you have water in it, it's going to go to the bottom. But what I mean by that is so that I have different consistencies of compound in the bucket. So if I want something that has a lot of filling capability, it's thicker, that'd be up on top. If I want something that's going to flow, it'd be down at the bottom. Don't really have to worry about the thicker stuff with this build, but there's sometimes when you're, especially when you're doing rocks, right? So there's areas where you're doing stonework or rocks, cliff faces, and you need that thinner stuff because as you're putting on your compound, you're seeing how you want that sharpness on the edge of certain cuts, right? And then you might have pockets, so you need to have that thicker stuff to go ahead and fill in those pockets. So it's kind of nice to have your bucket set up in such a way where you have a bunch of different consistencies in the inside. Just makes it easier that way. Go ahead and get the inside of that there opening. Okay. I'm just kind of doing circular motions, working the compound down in. The other thing is, if it's thin, it'll dry a lot faster for you too. Ooh, I got it's got fuzzies. All right. I'll get the edges, at least the edges of these. Okay, now that area I want a little wild with up here, I'm going to use a little bit thicker to get inside that. Fill in my boo-boo. Just about got it. This back side I don't have to worry about because that goes right up against the cliff face. So I don't have to worry about wrapping bricks around the edge there. Keep that fairly smooth so that it better surface to glue it in with. Okay. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna let this dry on here. If I have to come back in, open up these bricks, I will. My experience is this will shrink back. Let's see here, right up on top. Okay, now inside there. I got all this fuzzy stuff on here. Knock that off. Okay. Now, this side over here. So this rockery, or brick wall, is going to sit in an angle like that. So I've got brick up here on the side. This is like a smooth finish, like a stucco kind of a smooth finish. So actually, I'll show you guys what I mean. See if there's a better picture of it. So here we go. So here's the face, you know, right here. And you can see how that brick wall sits back. It lays back. And then up in here, let's see here. That might be a good, yeah. Up in here, it's more of a finished surface in this area. It's not all this rock brick. It's just kind of finished off like concrete or something like that. So what I did, so I was looking at that, I was like, okay, so I've got my brickwork up here on the edge, and when this wall sits in there like so, you know, we got that. So now what I need is this back side. You know, I just went ahead and put a little bit of texture in it. But let me go ahead and hit this first. So I hit these bricks first. And then we'll come in and do that. And I think that these openings up here are actually supposed to be doors. I'm going with windows. Unfortunately, this is the area where it goes up into that embankment, and just don't have the room to make the effect that, you know, that I want. So I think it's easier to just make these as windows. Take in some artistic liberty. Oh. And then we'll just go ahead and coat the inside of these because it's a recessed. Okay. And all I wanted with this, by doing that, is to give it, well, I'll show you. It's easier just to show you than try to describe it. So by putting a little bit of texture in it with sandpaper, a heavy sandpaper, it created some rough edges, some bald edges. So what that'll look like is it'll give us a base texture as a concrete surface. So let me get this kind of cleaned up here, and I'll show you. So we got our windows in here. We got, let's see here. I was too high, wasn't I? So there's brickwork that's right up here on these areas. But by scuffing it lightly and then laying the joint compound over, you can see all just kind of balled up and whatnot. So we can make this kind of look like more of a concrete surface once we get done with painting. But this will set our base textures down. So this is actually already starting to shrink in and look pretty good. So now it's just a matter of letting it dry. So there's that. Still got a long ways to go with this thing, but it's a beginning. So we'll just set it there. We've been going at this for a while. How long have we been doing this? Let's see here. An hour and 50 some minutes. So that's not too bad, considering what we've done. Let's see here. So now what I'm going to do is I gave you guys a rundown of something. So I showed you kind of a basic rough in with that yesterday, as far as building the box, how I went across with the cliff wall and got it, obviously got it to this point. Now we carved the brick and yeah, it's, you know, it's starting to look pretty cool. Look at it out there amongst all the other crap. But what I have here, this pile of styrene, and this, I can't use that. That's got to be over there. Okay, so what I have there is back to our photos. Okay, so we've worn out those photos as far as looking at that stuff. Now what we're going after is this back wall. Okay, we're going after is in the kit, okay, from Racetrack Scenics, this building right here, we have, you can get that, and you can get this first tall building right here. Okay, so this guy, this guy, this guy, and there's one other one that's down here that completes the graffiti down the side of the building. But from here, this building right here, okay, and then obviously all the way down is not available. So we've got to build this guy, which is kind of an interesting building. I'll come back to that. But this guy all the way down, right? This guy is kind of an interesting building. If you look, okay, so here's this guy's 3 stories. This roof line comes to the top of this door. It drops down a little bit, and then there's the first floor. So this first floor is actually has a lower ceiling height than the second. It might be that, I don't know, maybe this thing actually had steps in the inside and went down. I have no idea. But I started looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't the same 2 stories as this one, right? It's different. And then if you look at this, it comes out over, and it looks like it's like red brick. This area is red brick. This is back to that stonework that we just did. Along with this area in here almost looks like concrete or a stucco finish that's on this building. So it's kind of weird. It really has a real mix all the way down. And then it goes with that brickwork, and then we're back into stucco here. This actually is on the next street. So this building right here is the front facade of the next street over behind these buildings. But it's a matter of trying to get these guys all the way down. And I can't, let's see here, that's that building. Here's that one, that one. You can see that one's on the next street over. I thought I had, yeah. This one's kind of hard to tell. It's, again, you know, you start searching around for photos. This is that 3-story. That's that 2-story. It's quite the difference right there. And then it looks like it pretty much carries that single-story house down the street quite a ways. So I decided what I was going to do let's go ahead and do this. This is the building that comes in the kit right here. Okay. This is the building next to it, and then all the way down here on the side. So I don't know how many, residences I'll make with this, but I'm going to go ahead and I laid out this building and the other ones and came up with a length of about 19 inches that I need to make here to take it down to just shy of the cliff wall. Because on this side right here, I want to go ahead and put a tree in this area before the cliff, because I think I showed you guys that one photo. So what this guy is here is the 19 inches cut all the way down. Just kind of went through, started playing with graph paper, and then I have these kits, so I was able to kind of goof around with numbers to make it look right. So it came up with 19 inches, 4 inches tall as far as the front fascia of that building in here. And then this area through here, 6.5 inches from the top of this all the way down to the bottom. This area through here is 5.5 inches, which matches what this tower is. So I pretty much match this tower, but it comes, it's gonna be different. I mean, you're gonna have red brick here, that stone brick stuff here. Then we're back into like a stucco finish and whatnot. So kind of give you an idea of how you go about that type of stuff. But this is what we got here. I pretty much just need to go ahead and glue this stuff up, right? And put it all together. But yeah. But that's pretty much, when you're doing scratch building, sit down, make yourself some plans. Even rough plans like this, they work great. Just gives you a reference to work off of. Your brain can start working things out as far as, is it going to work? Is it going to look right? And the cool thing with polystyrene is that it only took me roughly about 5 minutes to cut these pieces. So I don't have a bunch of time invested, building something, and then only to find out once I lay it all out, my calculations were completely, screwed up, and then I have to start all over again. So, if you're building it out of balsa or something like that, that's where the polystyrene really starts to, it's very forgivable, right? Very forgivable. It's a lot cheaper in a sense versus balsa, as far as if you were to pay for this stuff, I think in balsa, just what we have here, probably run you maybe $6, $8 maybe, depending on the thickness. So obviously you wouldn't be doing, half inch, but it's kind of the cool thing about polystyrene. And you can get a big sheet of it. That sheet over there, which is a 4x8 sheet, polystyrene, half inch, cost me $20 at Home Depot, but which has gone up. I mean, when I first started doing the layout and stuff, a 4x8 sheet of polystyrene was only $10. Yeah, it was only $10. So this stuff has doubled in price since, since COVID. So, yeah, but it's one way of doing scratch builds, and you can do a lot of stuff with it, right? Pretty cool. Kind of hard to do that with balsa. I like to see someone try to get that type of finish on balsa. But you can do it with polystyrene. So it has its purpose. But I think we're pretty much at that point. I mean, I can't really do much with that. The only other thing I could do is start putting joint compound on the cliff wall, but I don't think you guys want to sit there and watch me putting joint compound on cliff wall, because that's going to take a while. And I've got tons of videos out there where I've applied joint compound to rocks. So um, there's that. I do have that brick wall I got to put in, but I can't really do much with that until that building is dry enough that I can use that, bring that over and make sure that I don't need to make any alterations, to that brick wall. So I can't really do that yet. Start looking at this. My back is starting to cramp up, so I don't know if I want to sit here for too much longer. But make another cup of Joe. Yeah, right? Oh, it probably wouldn't hurt. Nah, I think what I'm going to do is step away, take a break. I need to go ahead and let that dry. And the weather down here is getting worse. Looks like we are, in fact, going to get some snow in Texas. So I definitely won't be doing anything outside tomorrow. So, and I know tomorrow that'll be dry. So what we can do is maybe tomorrow we'll do the same thing. We'll take this to the next step from that. Yeah, I can get the building. Yeah, I can utilize the building. Then we can go ahead and set in that wall. The brick wall. We can get that set. Get those bricks cut. I'm gonna have to blend that into the polystyrene, the spray foam and stuff that's on the wall. In the meantime, I might play with this a little bit to get this kind of put together. It's going to be a lot of time just kind of staring at it, trying to figure it out. But, yeah, we can figure that out. So let's do that. I'll try to, tomorrow's Wednesday. I do have a Patreon Zoom meeting. I need to post that on my Patreon page. I haven't done that yet. Guys are probably wondering what the hell's going on. So I need to get that posted up. That Zoom meeting starts at 6. But if we started playing around tomorrow about the same time, that gives me plenty of time in between projects. So I'm thinking aloud. Sorry, guys. So I think that'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work. And we can see how the joint compound shrank back into the polystyrene and everything, and how that works. And we can go from there. So Chris, so am I still painting planes? Yes, Chris, I'm still painting planes. Still working for Gulfstream up in Dallas. So I don't exactly paint. My position up there isn't exactly like painting complete planes. What happens is that the jets get flown out up at Appleton or something like that. They paint them out completely, and then they bring them back down to Dallas, and we are a delivery center. And what my job is to go through the paint job that was performed and pick it apart. So I go through, and me and other guys, we go through and we critique critique the paint job all the way down, and I fix all the flaws that are in the paint job. So any of the graphics, stuff like that, and just fix everything. So that's what I do, which is it's kind of cool. You get a sense of satisfaction and stuff when you're all done and the jet looks the jets are pretty kick-ass, I must say. I mean, what? Uh, 280, the small one is one of the well, they all are. All the Gulfstreams are the fastest in class. So um, it's kind of like the Ferraris of the aircraft world. It's pretty cool. So uh, so what we'll do is uh, we'll go ahead and we'll play tomorrow. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and rest my back. And you guys, I think I don't know if Marty has something going on. What Chris says, everyone have a great week. Remember 2 lines. So yeah, 2 lines. So Marty's having his live stream tonight. So cool. Right on. So what we'll do is I will go ahead and put together once I get up tomorrow and and have my mini cups of coffee in the morning. Um, I'll figure out the time that I'm going to go ahead and do the live stream, and I will get it posted up as soon as I can on the Facebook page. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I will see all you crazy guys tomorrow. All right. So I'm going to go rest for a little bit, and you guys have a good night, and I will see y'all later. Bye. And I got to turn this thing off. There we go.